Taurus Sun and Rising. Welcome to your October 2022 Astro Update. It's Rena here. Alrighty then. October. We are officially in eclipse season, although I am recording this in September, and some of you may feel some of this eclipse energy even in September and even beyond October. And because the eclipse in October is going to be in Scorpio, that is your opposite sign, so it does aspect Taurus. Well, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty about that because it is an early degree, that eclipse, and it is possible that for some of you, a lot of you, it will not actually oppose your sun or rising sign. But I digress. I mean, it is in this this set or this latest set of eclipses. So it is important for you because you're going to have an eclipse in November. And I think that one is going to be very much a doozy for the whole world because that one is going to form a conjunction with Uranus, which is retrograding. So it's going to be a wild ride. But let's stick to October. Mercury goes direct on the 2nd. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. And it's going to go direct in Virgo. So it started out in Libra. It ends in Virgo. Virgo is your 5th house. And I wonder how many, I was going to say single Taurians, but it doesn't have to be. Why does it have to be? That you heard back from an old lover during this Mercury retrograde, because you can hear back from people during Mercury retrograde. Oh, and as I record this, that still might be something that hasn't occurred yet for you. So keep that in mind. I don't even know if Mercury has gone back into Virgo yet in September, because I'm recording this on the 18th. But anyway, the point is that this is the 5th house is the house of creativity as well as love and the business that you own. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, if you've been having issues with work related matters, and sometimes it's not the actual work itself, but the people that you're dealing with in the 6th house can be co-workers, that you may be rethinking, maybe you did have a business at one time, or you do have like a side hustle. But I specifically, if this is something that you have created yourself and you think, hey, maybe I should build this up to be my primary source of income. Maybe you have written it off as such. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so it's not unusual. I wouldn't think it would be unusual for a Taurus individual to really want a steady paycheck and not have the kind of unpredictability that working for yourself can entail. Some people handle it better than others, and Taurus seems to me like a sign that would kind of turn you off. So you might keep that business, but you realize, hey, it's not enough to pay all my bills. But then the wheels start to turn and you say, maybe I could make it something like that. Especially if there have been, if there's been any kind of instability in whatever field you're in and you have seen other people lose their jobs, you may feel like it's just a matter of time. And that could be one of the reasons why you're rethinking it as well. Or you're just kind of disgusted by something that is occurring. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and you like to be chill. And you don't want a lot of pressure. You don't like competition. You don't like, kind of like not having good relationships with your coworkers. If those kinds of things are going on, that can, really sour it for you. So that might be what you're thinking about in one way, shape, or form. but Mercury goes direct on the 2nd. So you may be ready to make a decision on this. And and also in terms of creative projects, because that might have something to do, like fitting them into your daily schedule routine, which the 6th house represents. On the 8th, Pluto goes direct, again in an earth sign, this time in Capricorn, 26 Capricorn. Pluto is an outer planet, so we don't typically talk about, oh, my Pluto is in such and such sign, so therefore this is how my personality is. Although recently I have been doing generational planet videos, which Pluto is a generational planet, and it does encompass certain generations. So like Generation Y, the millennials and things like that these are videos that I've been doing, and I've been doing a lot of private readings for people from these generations: Neptune in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and so this look at where it is in your chart, and this is a general reading. So when I say that it's in your 9th house, it could be for some people also in their 8th house too. That's a possibility. But it could encompass both of those houses. I have Taurus rising, and it encompasses, some of my 8th and some of my all of my 9th. So when Pluto goes direct in this 9th house, you may have had some kind of an issue. What I wanted to say about the transits in the houses with Pluto, or even the natal placement of Pluto, is that it creates a sense of personalizing this generational planet. By the way, I want to correct something. I said that I have done readings for people who have Pluto and Capricorn. I think I said that. That is not true. What I meant is like Neptune in Capricorn. Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, and I do not do readings for people under 18. So I meant some other of the generational planets, like Neptune. I've been doing in Capricorn, Sagittarius lately. And of course, Pluto and Sag. I just wanted to clarify that. What I was just trying to say in general is that we don't tend to look at our Pluto signs to really define us personally, but they can define a generation. And so for Taurus individuals, this is the 9th house, and this is the house of God. And this is higher knowledge. University is considered part of this area as well. We could debate that sometimes, but I digress. So turning that to within yourself, it's, I don't know how that has been. Pluto retrogrades for months at a time every year. So it's not like some big unusual happening. However, have some of you really like looked within for transformation, which is more of like an 8th house kind of a deal, rather than looking to the outer dogma, which the 9th house can represent, as far as I'm concerned. And that to me is very, very important for true transformation. A lot of people will join a religion, join a cult, but I mean join some type of group in the hopes of being able to find their true path, when in fact all they have been doing is substituting one belief system for another. When we look within, we're really doing that shadow work. So Pluto in the ninth house, that shadow work can be in the form of um, the indoctrination that we get from the outside world that is moralistic in nature and may not be really true for us when it comes to how we conduct ourselves in life. Now Pluto is direct, and it's, transforming the outer version of what kind of things that you are finding yourself maybe getting involved with that have that philosophical nature, and it's having a very transformative effect on you. Pluto will be leaving Capricorn next March. So then you'll have it in your 10th house of career. Wow. So on the ninth, the next day, we have a full moon at 16 degrees of Aries. And of course, Aries is a sign before you, Taurus. So this is going to be in your 12th house. Ooh, that's like a very deep part of yourself as well. Are there any bad habits that you wish to drop? This is a great time for that. This is a great time to really tune into those parts of yourself that are self destructive, that are keeping you from living your full dream. Taurus can be hedonistic sometimes because of that Venus connection, the pleasure principle. Being an earth sign, the pleasures of the flesh, okay? But they can be the temptations of the flesh. That could be also with that Pluto in the ninth, like really getting straight these kinds of things. Because, that moralistic thing, for instance, about sex, all of these things, they have a grain of truth in them, but they are distorted by people that want to control us completely, and guilt us, manipulate us in some way through guilt, fear, shame. Okay. But that doesn't mean we throw out the baby with the bathwater. So just because we can see through that manipulation doesn't mean we go, okay, well, the sky's the limit. I'll do whatever I want. Um, we don't want to be self-destructive if we don't have any kind of discipline over our those kinds of desires, then we are just completely at the mercy of them. So the other thing about the 12th house is it's the dream state. It's very psychic. It's about the spiritual dimensions. So watch your dreams. It's funny because I don't really, they say everybody dreams, but I don't remember my dreams like most of the time. And the other day I bought this Lemurian crystal and I happened to wear it while I was sleeping and I was dreaming and I'm like, wow, because it's supposed to enhance your, it's like a type of quartz. So it's supposed to boost all of those kind of like psychic powers and things like that. So that's what the full moon can do for you. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Libra, or should I say back into Libra. Now that it's direct, it's gaining ground, and so that sixth house activated once more, maybe talking to your place of employment, speaking with coworkers, thinking about your routines in a whole new way. On the 23rd, there's a lot going on, and this is all, well, no, it's not all. Seventh house triggers. Venus going into Scorpio, the sun going into Scorpio, same day. Seventh house, the opposite house of the reading here, where the sun is in your first house or your rising sign, the first house. So this seventh house of committed partnership, Venus going there, the sun going there, very positive for romantic times with your partner. The seventh house are legal affairs, so money matters could be coming into fruition for you in some way, or you're really, uh, you have your attention on those types of issues. And Saturn, on the same day, on the 23rd, Saturn goes direct. So Saturn has been retrograding for several months. Saturn and, it's interesting, Jupiter and Saturn, they're not generational planets, but they're kind of in between, So Saturn has been in Aquarius for whatever, 2 years, I can't remember now. And so Aquarius for you is your 10th house of career. So Saturn going direct, maybe that will make you feel like more disciplined. Maybe you've been slacking off, but it could be for a good cause. Sometimes Taurus individuals, and I'm speaking particularly now for the sun in Taurus, because it's possible you may have Mars in Taurus as well. And you have that steamroller effect where you go after things and you don't back down. Like, even if something doesn't seem to be working, you just keep doing it, because there's a perseverance about fixed signs, especially if Mars is there as well, where you can just go for something and just keep going for it. Now, do I think that that's bad? No, not necessarily, because what that can do is it can make it so that you don't get easily discouraged and that you keep going after your dreams. However, as we know, this kind of thing is not good for, being able to adjust. Sometimes people with these types of placements can be blindly stubborn. So maybe there has been something in your outer world that has forced you to kind of pull back a little bit and kind of do that inner work before you keep applying yourself in an outwards kind of a way. And, I think about myself and, the frustration that I have felt, and knowing that it's like being forged in a kiln, and you have to take that heat, and it there's that saying, about the pressure and the diamonds. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean, is that it really does strengthen you if you can withstand the pressure. And with Saturn, wanting to be disciplined, wanting to be having, ambition, maybe you had lost your ambition for some reason and now you're going to regain it. So that can be a very good thing, actually, to have this planet go direct. On the 25th, we have that solar eclipse at 2 degrees of Scorpio in the 7th house for you. But I do feel that for a lot of you, this is going to be the 6th house. So that could be new work opportunities. But if we just pretend that everybody has this in the 7th house, this is going to be very good for relationships, not just with your significant other, but clients. So you might get a lot of new clients. And I would say that even with those people that this is actually falling in the 6th house, that the fact that it's in Scorpio at all could definitely affect you anyway. And so the solar eclipse is a very powerful full moon. I mean, not new moon. On the 28th, Jupiter goes back into Pisces because Jupiter has been retrograding. So Jupiter is going back into your 11th house of hopes and wishes, and had been in the 12th house. In the 12th house, it may have had a more subtle influence, more like kind of like your angels are there protecting you against any kind of psychic attacks or hidden enemies of any sort. In the 11th house, it kind of reignites your dreams, hopes and wishes, long range goals. So that could be good. Also, gains. So This is the house of gains. So if you've with Saturn direct now in the 10th house, maybe this will be good for your financial situation. So just check at the end of October if you see an uptick in your earnings. Also, if you have been kind of keeping to yourself, the 11th house is more of a social area, and that may pick up as well. On the 29th, Mercury goes into Scorpio. So Mercury goes into that 7th house. If there are any kind of legal documents or other legal affairs to tend to, this might come out more at this time, or you may be dealing with them, taking care of them. Talking to a love partner, since this is where it all, no, this isn't where it all began. But since this is the 7th house, well, I mean, like if you have been estranged from a partner, then this may be that you are starting to talk to them again, because since you had Mercury in the 5th house, if there was any kind of love that came back and that was during a separation, you may have decided that you appreciate your partner more and you're talking to them again. On the 30th, Mars goes retrograde officially at 25 degrees of Gemini. For Taurus, this is the 2nd house of earned income. Now, I'm of the belief, I don't know if this would necessarily be true or not, that this might even be a sign of greater earning power for Taurus in terms of having things just come to you rather than having to really put yourself out there like that. Anytime that you have these planets in financial sectors or career sectors, you may see that something feels blocked or impeded. But I think with Mars, because it's like it can be like almost doing really hard work or working overtime, that this might actually be, hustling, that there may be a greater sense of, hey, I can allow things to come to me more. That I'm not saying, don't work for your money, but maybe your money is going to work for you. Maybe you've already kind of paved a way for things to come back to you in some way, shape, or form. Never can we, just be of the belief that we can just expect things to just drop in our lap. But there might be times when it's not as intense in terms of our, putting that effort into it to that degree. Because Mars can be quite active in this area, and sometimes maybe we aren't as active, and that could actually be a good thing. But just keep an eye out for how your finances seem to be shaking out. If you've been trying to make something happen, you may find and this could be like another income stream. You may find that it's frustrating that it's not doing what you want it to do. This is, again, what I was talking about also with career matters. So you have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to see what is happening and not just keep pushing, and then neglecting other things that you really do need to do that are more of a sure thing. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Taurus, Mars is going to go direct on January 12th, so we have a few months of this. So anyway, I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.